Welcome to Foreign Talk from Iraqia, a new channel. Today we're very pleased to have with us Lieutenant General Per Olsen, NATO Mission Commander in Iraq. General, thank you very much for your kindness. Thanks for your time and welcome to Iraq.
Thank you very much, sir. Looking forward to the interview.
Thank you very much. Would you like to speak in Arabic or English? I heard you speak Arabic well.
أني أرسي عربي بس شوي, so we probably better do this in English.
Can you please explain to us what is the nature and the duty of your mission in Iraq currently?
Yeah. Yes, I would be happy to do that.
Please.
First of all, NATO mission Iraq is here on the request of the Iraqi government,
yes,
and with the consensus of the 13 NATO nations. My mission here in Iraq is to advise the government of Iraq, more specifically the Ministry of Defense, on how to manage building the Iraqi army and how to run the military faculties.
Okay, but we have read that you're working also with the civilian side of it. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's correct. Within the Ministry of Defense, we work both with the Chief of Defense and his staff, but also with the Secretary General and the civilian part of the Ministry of Defense. For instance, we advise on human resource management, on budgeting, on building integrity, so both civilian and military aspects.
So basically, if we talk about courses, logistics, and support, and training, you basically specified in training mainly. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, or maybe even more specifically in advising. So NATO mission Iraq, we do not train Iraqi soldiers. No. We advise at the ministerial level on how to manage, how to have the governance of the Iraqi armed forces, and we advise the military faculties on what to teach, and how to run their faculties. But we do not train or teach Iraqi soldiers ourselves.
So basically, your communication directly with the senior officers of the Iraqi government, specifically with the Minister of Defense, correct? Minister of Defense only, or other ministries related, like Minister of Interior and all this?
Currently, our main focus is within the Ministry of Defense. Mm-hmm. So, since I came to Iraq 1 month and a half ago, I have met 3 times with the Minister of Defense, His Excellency Mr. Al-Diburi, and I meet regularly with once a week with the Chief of Defense, General Yarala, to coordinate all our activities.
Okay, and you're still doing this role even though with the COVID-19, or you take all the precautions needed?
We take all.
Unfortunate situation.
Yeah, we take all the precautionary measures needed, and as far as I can see, what is the precautionary measures in my home country, Denmark, looks very much like the precautionary measures taken by the government of Iraq. So this is easy.
And your officers and all the other soldiers, they join you in this mission, they take all the precaution before they come, they have certain steps to follow? I mean, make the test, isolation, all this?
Yes, we have very strict regulation in place. So whenever new members join NATO mission Iraq, they will have to do a 14 days of COVID-19 quarantine in the home countries before deploying to Iraq. And once they are in our headquarters at Union 3, we have very strict COVID-19 regulations as well. For instance, whenever you are in a room with more than 1 people, you will have to wear facial masks. And
so basically what I understand from your general, that's basically working on the military side. There is no humanitarian aspect to your mission in Iraq currently, especially with these difficulties we're facing?
No. That's outside the task of our mission. So basically what we are doing is trying to share the collective pool of experiences, you could call it best practices, from the 13 NATO nations, and share that with the Iraqi army, and hopefully by working together, using our experiences, the experience of the Iraqi armed forces, we can together build safety and security in Iraq.
So basically your role, the way you have said, is different or differ than the coalition forces. You have absolutely different duties and responsibilities, correct?
Yeah, okay. We have 2 very different roles. Actually, you could call them kind of 2 parallel tracks. So the coalition forces support the Iraqi armed forces during operations. We support the Iraqi armed forces, the Minister of Defense, on how to run, how to build the forces, how to educate the soldiers, the officers within the Iraqi armed forces.
I'm sure you have heard about this unfortunate incident with the Americans have hit one of the Iraqis' target in Baghdad International Airport, and there is very high unfortunate feelings out there for kind of, I won't say resentment, I will say people are not very happy to accept foreigners in their country for now. Even the parliament have made it very clear for the government to do so. My question is, what is exactly the framework or the legal framework you're working under now currently in Iraq?
First of all, NATO mission Iraq is here upon the request of the Iraqi government. Yes. And in the more formal details, there has been a exchange of a number of letters, which kind of is the documented foundation upon which the cooperation between NATO mission Iraq and the government of Iraq exists.
You are, for the short term, you are planning to keep your operation the way it is now, or you're planning to expand? And if you do so, what kind of expansion are you planning for?
It's our understanding that the Iraqi government want more assistance from NATO mission in Iraq, and there's also a political will to do that within the 30 NATO nations. So I expect that our mission will increase this year and the following years. And just to give you a perspective,
yes, sir.
Currently our mission is roughly 50 advisors supported by technical logistics and operational staff. And going forward, I think we will be increasing the number of advisors.
So according to this, framework, do you have timetable for your operations in Iraq, or it depends on the terrorist activities and the Iraqi requests and all these other details? So you don't have certain timetables you work with?
No, we don't have a timetable as such. We work in close coordination with the Iraqi Ministry of Defense. So basically, on our specific programs, the Iraqi Ministry of Defense, they will set the timetable for the specific programs to progress. Mm-hmm. We will do our best to support them, but we don't have kind of a long-term timetable. I think it's the ambition of NATO to maintain a partnership in the long run between NATO and the government of Iraq. But how that will look like in the future, I think nobody knows right now.
I will say a month ago, I had a talk, if you like, via Skype with the Secretary General of the NATO, and he made it very clear for me personally that Iraq, the NATO looking to Iraq as a partner. This partner, he said, as far as whatever need to be done, and that's you stand exactly the same position. Nothing has changed so far.
Exactly.
Mm. All right. Definitely working, as I said, you are the separate identity than the coalition forces. But you guys don't share intelligence, you don't share base, for example, nothing. They are completely different identity than yours.
As I mentioned before, our mission is quite different from the mission of the coalition. Right. But we share a number of the logistic support. For instance, we are based within the base called Union 3,
yes, sir.
And this base is currently run by the coalition. Mm-hmm. So we are kind of a tenant within the coalition base.
Yes, sir.
We also use some of the logistics enablers, for instance, transport aircraft from the coalition to bring our advisors and our supporting staff into Iraq.
All right. You have been over a month now in Iraq, and your personal long experience in military. How do you evaluate the security situation in general in Iraq now? This is what you expect to see, or you have been briefed already before you arrived on the situation? You think we're going towards better, or towards, unfortunate, there is some threats out there for us? And your personal military experience, what's your judgment, security situation?
Yeah. Of course, I was briefed on the situation, yes, in Iraq, yes, seen from the outside, from a Danish perspective and from a NATO perspective before going here, and there's no doubt that the political situation, the security situation, has been tense also within the last few weeks, but luckily the government of Iraq seemed to be able to control the situation. So I think what actually has happened on the ground has been more accommodating to our mission than I had expected going here.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. As far as we have a situation with the KRG, Kurdistan region, with the Turkish, obviously. My question is, I understand you are military. You have your superior to report to, so you don't get involved with the political side of the situation. I respect that. I understand. My question is, do you have advisory activities also from the Turkish Turkish people? Sorry, as a member of your organization, they have them working with you in Iraq.
First of all, NATO mission Iraq works in full support of the sovereignty of the Republic of Iraq.
Yes, sir.
Turkey, as you know, is one of the 30 NATO members, and there are positions for Turkish soldiers and civilians within my organization, NATO mission Iraq. But unfortunately, they have not yet been able to get here because of lack of visas to enter into Iraq. So hopefully, once this is settled, they will also take part of the mission and work, as I mentioned, in full accordance with the sovereignty of the Republic of Iraq.
So basically, I understand from what you have said, General, that the foundation for all your activities is sovereignty of Iraq, and that respect is undoubtable. So whatever, all your soldiers, all your officers, they come to Iraq after the approval of the Iraqi government through the Ministry of Interior and their visas. That's correct?
That's correct, yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So whoever they allow, they will come in, otherwise they won't. So basically all your members here because of the Iraqi government approval. That's correct?
That's correct. And
yes.
When it comes to our specific activities, we coordinate on a weekly basis all our activity with the Minister of Defense.
Yes.
And currently we are only engaged within the Greater Baghdad area, providing advice to the Minister of Defense itself, and then some of the military faculties within the Greater Baghdad area. For instance, like the first military college at Rustamiyah.
You have a base there also for training?
I don't have a base there, but we
as a NATO.
Yeah, no,
you don't.
Currently, NATO mission Iraq is only based within Union 3. So
right.
if we have to advise at the first military college, we would go there by road or by helicopter.
When needed.
Yeah, when needed.
So basically there is a meeting out there, you guys go.
Exactly.
All right,
yeah.
All right, okay. General, you very kind and very direct, and I like that so much. If you have a word as a NATO for our viewers, as Iraqis, for their future, what they will expect, and from your friend as NATO to Iraqi people, what we expect from you?
I think I will hope that we together will be able to build safety and security, and then working together as partners, have both a prosperous future for the Republic of Iraq, for the NATO countries, but probably most importantly for the people of our combined nations.
Excellent. Thank you so very much. That was our interview with Lieutenant General Pierre Olsen, and his NATO mission commander in Iraq. Thank you. I will see you next time.